Hi, this is Kat. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my first look using the Master Palette by Mario palette by Anastasia. This is the newest palette in the Anastasia brand, and it looks like this, and I thought that I would review it because I did get a lot of questions on Snapchat and on Instagram, and I haven't done one of these reviews in a really long time, and I love these kind of videos. This is what it looks like. At first glance, it looks like it's very jewel toned and sort of warm, and it can be, but yeah, that's what it looks like. So today I tried to steer away from warm. My first instinct is to do warm, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do something cool toned. I started off the entire look using Lula, which is a cool toned brown, and I buffed that into my crease. Then I went in with Claudia, which is this blue over here, and I applied that to my crease, and I really worked that in. And then I applied Bronx to the rest of my lid, and then on the inner corner I used a little bit of Fifth Ave and Marina. So those two shades right there. So here is the look. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. On the bottom lash line I did the same thing. I went in with Claudia, and then on the almost on my lash line I applied Bronx with a little bit of a wet brush just so that it popped a little bit more. On the rest of my face I'm using Estee Lauder Wear foundation. I have the Laura Mercier Ritual bronzer. On my cheeks I'm wearing NARS Matahari. On my lips I have a Lorac Alter Ego gloss in Goddess. And what else? Brows is Anastasia Soft Brown, and my lashes are the Wispies from Walmart. Hey guys, for today's look I applied Lula all over my crease. That's my transition shade. I have Paris all over my lid. On the middle of the lid I have Fifth Ave, just to spotlight a little bit. Then I darkened everything up with NYC on the lower lash line and on the outer corner. In the inner corner I took a little bit of Fifth Ave and Marina just because they're the most shimmery shades. On my lower lash line I also applied L'Oreal's Silkocene Gold Liner. On my lips I have MAC's Burgundy Lip Liner with MAC's Rebel Lipstick. And foundation's the same, Laura Mercier Ritual Bronzer, and this blush from Maybelline, the Face Studio Master Highlight in Coral, which I don't really think you can see, but whatever. Anyway, I'm going to zoom in so that you can see the look. Hey guys, so today's look I went into the more burgundy shades. Right here I have my palette. So I started off with Lula all over my crease. I love this shade because it's more cool toned and it doesn't make my look too warm. So I started off with that. Then I applied Muse all over my lid. I did have to wet my brush just to get the intensity to really pop. And then on the outer corner I used NYC just to smoke it out, and this actually pulls a little bit more black than bronzy. I don't know if it's just the kind of brush that I used, but I just thought it was a little dark. Then, what else did I use? I used a smidge of Hollywood on the inner corner, but then I did go over it with my highlight that I'll show you in just a moment. On the bottom lash line, I used Violetta, and this is a really warm toned shade. And then I went over it with Muse just to smoke it out. And yeah, and that's all that I used. I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see the look. So here's the look. I feel like I have a hair on my lip. I do. Lord. So on the rest of my face, it's the same. I'm using Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, NARS Creamy Concealer in Custard. On my lips, I'm wearing MAC Stripped is it stripped or stripped down? Stripped down. I always call it stripped. I don't know why. MAC Stripped Down Lip Liner, which I probably could have gone darker, but I didn't. And I'm using Smashbox lipstick in Chestnut. This is actually the finish of it. It's kind of more glossy finish. On my cheeks, I am wearing, I actually brought it out here to show you. Oh, Lorac Prism Blush. This is one of their newer formulas. And for highlight, I'm using MAC Whisper of Guilt, which I have heard has just recently been released again in their holiday collection. So I just wanted to tell you about that. And oh, on my lashes, I am wearing individual lashes. These are not to be confused with eyelash extensions. These are definitely lashes that you want to remove. I just wanted to put my 2 cents on that. Not eyelash extensions, individual lashes. I love them. I feel like they're super natural and they don't feel like anything on my lids. So yeah, that is today's look. I'll see you guys. Hey guys, for today's look, I started off with, again, Lula all over my crease. Then I went in with Paris all over my eyes. That's my main shadow. On the outer corner, I darkened it up with Claudia the blue. And then I spotlighted the eye with a little bit of Marina in the inner corner. On the bottom lash line, I took Bronx and I smoked it out. So this is the look. I also applied this Sephora Crayon Jumbo 12-hour liner in khaki. For lips, I have on Anastasia Allison with MAC Stripped Down Lip Liner. On my face, Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, I have Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer with the NYX Love Contours All palette for just the contour. For blush and highlight, I'm using this duo from MAC. This is from the Nutcracker Suite collection. It's the Peach Face Compact in peach. So the highlighter is called Tutu and the blush is called At Dusk. And that is what I have going on for today's look. Okay, so now that I've done all these looks and I've literally used every eyeshadow in the palette, I'm going to bring you my overall thoughts. So right off the bat, I can just tell you that I really do love this palette. I love how small it is. I like that it's compact. I think that it fits anywhere and it's just, you know, really easy to store. It does come with a brush, which I really do like. I probably already stuffed it in one of my little cubbies somewhere, but I do like the brush that it comes with. I think for the price, it is very affordable and you do get quality shadows. Overall, I think that the palette can pull warm and cool. I think that you can definitely get a cool toned look as well as a warm toned look. Depends on what you pull into your crease. If you want to go cool, stick with Lula. If you want to go warm, obviously go with Isabel and with Violetta. I used Lula quite often because I think it's a really nice medium shade. And I used Claudia and NYC most of the times as my my contour shade, so the shade that I use to deepen up the look. My favorites in the palette are definitely Lula. I love Isabel. I think Marina is a beautiful, like, pinky shade. It's probably my favorite. Next up is definitely Paris. It's a really interesting taupey shade. And of course, I love Bronx. For me, Claudia could have been a little bit more pigmented, but I do appreciate that it gives you the ability to build it up so it's not super, super intense. But I wish it was just a little bit more blue. But I do love the shade regardless. The only ones that I really didn't like, I have to say, are Hollywood and NYC. Hollywood to me pulls just black, and the shimmers in it don't really give it any kind of interesting anything to it. Muse is a beautiful shade. I love that shade too. But Hollywood is the only shade that I'm just like, I wish that they would have made that a cream instead. That way I wouldn't have to pull from a different palette, because I have been pulling from my Lorac palette too, my Pro palette too, just for the cream shade, just for an all over base. If that shade would have been cream, I think I would be so in love with this palette. But otherwise, Other than that, I'm still really, really pleased with this palette. I'm going to start off with Lula, Isabel, and Violetta. And these are the 3 matte shades in the palette. I really love all 3. I especially love Lula. It's a very interesting shade, and I've just been using that a lot. And I didn't expect to be using it as much as I do. Those are the first 3 shades, and they're the only matte shades in the palette. Then we have Fifth Avenue, Bronx, and Paris. And these are just buttery smooth. They're slightly metallic, not super metallic, I would say, like I was saying before, but definitely still really beautiful shades. I really love those 3. Up here we have Hollywood, NYC, and Kim. And they're pretty shades. Those 3 are definitely not my favorite. They're right here. They're just, I don't know, they're a little bit powdery for me, but not enough to be like, oh, this palette is trash. I really do enjoy the palette overall. Then we have Muse, Marina, and Claudia. And those 3 are beautiful shades. I love those. And they're right here. So they're not crazy pigmented like I was saying. They do still have a lot of punch to them, but I feel like this palette is it's very toned down. It allows you to play with color but still keep it neutral. To me, when I look at this palette, I think of classiness. I think elegance. I think it's a very neutral, but it allows you to create and play with some color while it not being obnoxious. These 4 shades over here are what make the palette for me. I love, love, love the texture of them. They're buttery, they're smooth, they allow you to build up, and they don't apply too much color at once. So if you're a beginner or a novice, I think that this is also a really good palette to start off with. So that is my review on the Master Palette by Mario. I'm very pleased with this palette. I think it's, like I said, neutral, but you can definitely kick it up a notch and get into some jewel tones and make it a little bit more glamorous. But it's still, even still, if you pull those colors in, none of my looks ever felt like it was too much or like I couldn't wear it to work because I thought it would look crazy. Like, it's definitely a classier palette. The palette is really great for, you know, the everyday girl, but I think it's also it works very well on mature skin. I don't think that the metallics in this palette emphasize the aging eye. Like, they don't make the eyes look super creasy, if you know what I mean. If you worked with older skin, you'd know what I'm talking about. But I think it's really great. So even if you are on the more mature side, I think you would still get a lot of use out of this palette. You just have to really, really blend the shades out so that they don't look super metallic. But if you really want super metallic, you just have to add a little bit of Fix Plus to your brush, and these shades really, really pop, which is what I did on the center of my eye today with Marina. So yeah, those are going to be my thoughts. I'm very impressed with the palette. I think that you can get a lot of use out of it. I think if you're still on the fence about it, pick it up. It's definitely worth the money. I think the price point justifies the shadows. They're definitely really good ones in here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed and you would like to subscribe, click that button down below. Become part of my family. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!